Welcome back to Gingerbox 2.0. If you're new here, I'm Yue and I'm converting this Promaster 159 high roof fan for me and my cat. In this episode 4 of the van build series, I'll talk about how I prepped the van, specifically how I removed the factory flooring and cleaned up and painted the metal floor under it. This is really the hardest part so far, and I was constantly exhausted. Even when I was editing the footage, I could still feel the pain. So why do I need to remove the flooring? The only reason is insulation. Compared to wall and ceiling insulation, floor insulation is less important, and there is very mixed information online on whether you truly need to insulate the floor. However, I had half-inch foam board in Gingerbox 1.0 and it worked great. So I wanted to be safe and just do the same here. The factory flooring is composite and I have no problem reusing it. If the van didn't come with the flooring, I would be spending a lot of time making templates and cutting plywood. So although I really hate the removal process, it's not all for nothing. An alternative would be to put the foam board and another layer of plywood just on top of it. But the vertical space is so precious, so I decided against it. Now let's get started! Those are the tools needed: gloves to protect your hands, 2 different pry bars, a towel to wrap the pry bar to protect the paint. Later, I also brought some long wooden sticks. Apart from the 8 bolts, the flooring is also held by glue, and we can only pry it off little by little. It's not easy because the space is really tight and the glue is really strong. What I found was helpful is to bring the pry bar as close as possible to the glue and try both directions. If one direction doesn't work, the other might do the charm. It's hard work, but the popping sound when the glue separates from the floor is the best sound ever. When the pry bar can no longer reach the inside, long wooden sticks becomes handy. I use a plywood board, 2x4, and cloth hanging rod. In theory, wrapping them with towels would protect the paint, but it's really hard to keep the towel in place when the prying point is so far away, so I just gave up. And there will be damage to the paint no matter what. What I found helpful here is to move 2 sticks one by one. After lifting one stick a bit, the other stick can go deeper and will become a little easier to lift. Then go back to the previous stick. However, ultimately, you still need a lot of strength and a little luck. After popping a little less than half of the flooring, it becomes too hard, so I'm about to move to the side. Also, I'm already shaking at this point. The side is even harder because they use a lot more glue. By the way, if you are thinking about using a heat gun, the glue is just too deep for a heat gun to reach. After a lot of trying and disappointment and desperation, and standing on a ladder so I can lift the stick higher, I still can't get the last bit of the glue pop. Just when I thought maybe I should get some dinner and some sleep, and maybe tomorrow it will be fine, I decided to try one last time. And it worked! Apparently, I didn't know my face was not in the video at that time, but I promise you, I was super happy. The next day, I tried to lift the flooring and lean it against the wall so I can remove the glue dots while waiting for friends to come and help me unload the flooring. Let's be honest, there is no way I can unload it by myself, and even lifting it is super hard. If I need to give a guess, I would say it's about 150 pounds. The uneven floor and the glue dots made it really hard to adjust the bottom so the flooring is in a stable position. I really appreciated it when the help finally came so the flooring can be unloaded. While waiting, I tried to use the hair dryer to heat up the glue for easier removal. And I also tried some tricks from other YouTube videos to clamp a corner of the glue and roll it. Nothing worked. I guess a heat gun is the way to go. After a lot of trying on different glue blobs, I found the best way to remove them. First, find the most pointy part and heat it with the heat gun on high settings for about 30 seconds. Then try to lift it with pliers. If it doesn't lift easily, heat it again a little longer. After that, continue heating under it and keep lifting little by little. If the blob is too big or it breaks off, try again on the rest of it. And let's try another blob. Not all blobs are created equal though. Those bigger blobs near the sliding door are a lot harder. After removing most of the glue blobs, we still have some glue left. Those dangling edges of the glue will make it hard for primer and paint to stick, so we need to remove them. I tried chisels, a painter's tool, and a putty knife, together with a heat gun, and I found the putty knife works the best. I also have a 240 grade sandpaper, but any similar grade could work. The purpose is not to remove all the glue, but to make sure all the edges are smooth and free of dangling debris, so the paint will stick and not to peel off later. After removing all the glue and sanding, I vacuumed the whole floor with a shop vac. I also took the chance to vacuum the dirty space on the two sides.
Let's do some cleanup.
The last step before we can spray primer and paint is cleaning. I used the paint cleanup cloth because my friend gave me her leftover, but any wipes or cloths could work. I also added surface cleaner later for better results. And I just noticed that the cute little squirrel was watching us. Get ready to paint. I always wear a respirator when I spray paint. I also got gloves and a can of self-etching primer because some parts of metal were exposed. And I also have my paint suits on. You know, you accidentally got some paint on your clothing and then you wear it every time you paint. Remember to shake your can vigorously. I sprayed all the exposed metal with the self-etching primer. I don't know if it's me or the sprayer, but it seems the sprayer head was very tight and my fingers got pretty sore. Hello, it's pretty late at night and I just finished the gym class. Gemini told me that I should apply the paint immediately after the self-etching primer is dry. If I wait for more than 24 hours, then I need to sand it first. To be honest, I've never heard such things, but also I don't know much about auto paint. So I guess I'm here with this gloss protective animal. Let's paint it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave it in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow the journey. This will encourage me a lot to continue making those videos.